I was looking at her, I was holding her hand, and I was asking her, give me my baby. There is something wrong with my baby. That is why you're not showing me my baby. And I was really, really hysterical. And the doctor came and said, inject her.
Running into you. Change the world I know.
Hello and welcome back to Conversations with Miss Sue, and thank you so much for tuning in. And for those who are joining us for the first time, you're welcome. Join the family. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. For my day ones, the ones that have had my back from day one, thank you guys. I really appreciate your support. Okay, so as you guys know, we are doing the Single Mother's Diary series. So I'm going to be talking about something to do with single mothers. And I know the story is a little stale because my child is like a grown man now, but I am going to share my birth story with you guys because I felt like it's a very informative story and it will help somebody and it's entertaining. So yeah, let's get into it. Most of you guys know from the last video, I gave birth to my baby. I was already single. What happened is at about 3-4 months, I went to see the doctor. I would see the doctor regularly because I had certain complications. Like I would feel pain and there was some discharge and stuff. But then, and when I got there, the doctor then told me that go for a scan. So I went for a scan, and when I got to the scan, the person who was doing the scan, she went like, oh, you're having a baby, you're so young, how old are you? And she started asking me questions, and then she just kept quiet, you guys. Like the quiet that you know something is wrong, because like she was really, really jovial and happy and all, and then all of a sudden she just went quiet. But I didn't worry because I didn't know anything. I was young, you guys. I didn't even know anything. Okay, so she went quiet, and then she wrote a little letter and she said, can you give this to your doctor? And I was like, but I'm not going to see my doctor like now. I'll see my doctor next month. And then she said, can you just go back to your doctor so that the doctor reads this note? It's important. Then I went to my doctor, and my doctor sat me down and said, you've got what we call placenta previa. Okay, so for those who do not know placenta previa, let me just school you on placenta previa. Okay, so the placenta is supposed to be on top, and then the baby is there, and then the opening there. So with placenta previa, it's the opposite. The placenta is low here, and then the baby is on top of the placenta. Of which you guys know that the placenta is called the afterbirth. So it's supposed to come out after the baby is out already. But then for my case, the placenta was here, and then the baby was here. So it was not the correct way. Okay, so this was really serious, but then I was 18. Guys, don't blame me. I was 18 and I didn't even think this was like a real disease. To be honest, I actually thought, chirwere chevarungu, like it's white people's sickness. I didn't even think I didn't even think it was serious. So me being me, I had this magazine that I would read almost every time. It was a pregnancy magazine, Living and Loving, for those who know it. And as I read about placenta previa, I realized that it was actually a serious condition. But then I didn't take it seriously because I just thought, well, as the doctor said, the placenta might just move back to the correct position during the pregnancy and I'll be fine and stuff. So I just thought, So yeah, fast forward. I would go to the scan every single month and then nothing would change. And then the doctor said, we have to operate on you. You can't have like a normal delivery. And I was bummed. The reason why I was bummed, you guys, was um, I had heard stories about people who just die in theater. I know. Like, I wasn't worried about pushing. I was worried about being under like some drug, and then I sleep, and then they cut me open, and the next thing I don't wake up. That was what I was scared of. But yeah, then the doctor said to me, since we're operating on you, and then placenta previa needs you to rest, don't be traveling. Just stay put in Gweru. And me being me, I wanted to see Mama. So I traveled. I went to Zishavane, you guys. I didn't think anything of it at that time. But yeah, I made a really big mistake. Because I went to Zishavane, got to Zishavane, life is happening. I was supposed to be operated on the 18th of July, but then this was on the 23rd. It was on the 23rd of June. And I thought to myself, oh, well, July, I'll make it to Gweru like on time and stuff. Let's go. 23rd of June. And then apparently my Sekuru came. He came to see me. He said, oh, well, instead of getting my pension in Gweru, I decided to come and get it in Vishavane so that I can see you guys. Like, our family is so tightly knit. We like love each other. We're so close, and that's how it is. It's always been like that. So my Sekuru came, and then my aunt from Harare was also there, and then my aunt from Vishavane was also there. Mama was not there; she was in SA, and then guys, everyone was there. And then I woke up at like about 2 a.m. Actually, during the day, I didn't feel anything. I was fine because I actually walked to the bank. I like in Jishalane town was like we used to walk. We never used to get on taxis or anything like that. We used to walk. And I was like 7 months pregnant and I walked, you guys. I used to walk. And then I walked into town and back, and I was feeling fine. So yeah, my cousin was like about 2 years old, I think. Tadi was like 2 years old. Four, I think. Maybe. I think four. Yeah, I think four. And then I slept with him and his mom. So it was the three of us on the bed. But don't judge, you guys. This is us, the African lifestyle. Like, yeah, we can be five on the bed. It's all right. Anyway, back to the story. So yeah, we're on the bed, and then I wake up. It was like around 2 a.m. I wake up at 2 a.m. and then like I'm like to my aunt, I feel really hungry. So I went to get myself a slice of bread. I had cravings, you guys. I was pregnant. Okay. So yeah, I was like at 2 a.m. And then all of a sudden I felt like there was something warm on my thighs. And I just scratched. You know how something just feels like it's irritating you, you don't take it seriously. I just scratched. And then when I lifted my hand to continue with what I was doing, guys, my hand was full of blood. So yes, I screamed and everybody came rushing, and there I was bleeding, guys. I was really bleeding, and I was putting on a white pajama set, and it was just so messy. So like I just then panicked. Like I really panicked because blood equals losing a child. That's what I thought at 18. And then because I was so scared, I just said, I want to go to the toilet. And like people took me to the toilet. I sat on the seat, on the toilet seat. And the moment I started peeing, you guys, there was like this huge clot that fell into the toilet. Like I panicked. I started screaming and crying. Like I was literally crying. And people were like, you know how old people, grown-up people go like, no, you have to be strong, you can't cry, you can't be a mother, you can't cry, it's okay. And so yeah, they took me, they cleaned me up, and then they put me on the bed. I was feeling like a little bit of pain, but nothing serious. It was just a little bit of pain. And then while I was lying on the bed, they were trying to call the doctors. They called my doctor first, and my doctor was like, you have to just make sure you take her to a hospital and lie her still. Make sure she doesn't move a lot, and that she's comfortable and resting like in a really comfortable position, and just try and take her to the hospital as soon as possible. Guys, they called the hospital, and then they told them that I had placenta previa, because my doctor said the moment that she gets to the hospital, before they do anything, just tell them that she's got placenta previa so that they know what to do. Guys, if I tell you that the hospitals in Shishalane, White Hospital and Mine Hospital, they both turned me away. They said she should go to her doctor. This is a serious condition and she just needs her doctor. I think those people thought I was gonna die. But anyway. So I spent like 2 hours bleeding, and then I couldn't feel my baby because like my baby would always be kicking and stuff, and so I started crying because I thought I had lost my baby. I started crying and crying, and my aunt was like, no, no, it's okay, just calm down. The doctor said it's normal for you to be bleeding, it's like a normal thing, you just needed to be in Gweru so that the doctor was going to check you out, but then like just calm down. So yeah, because we are a Christian family, we started praying, and my aunties were praying with me, and I just calmed down, and I sort of fell asleep for about 30 minutes. The moment I woke up, my uncle, he had driven from Kwekwe, you guys, to Zishalani. Like, I think he took 2 hours, but it's like a 3 hour, 4 hour journey. He took like 2 hours to come pick me up. And then when he came, I went and then I tried to change my the pad that was on me, and there was very little blood. So I actually told people that, you know what, I think I stopped bleeding. And then that's when he rushed me to Gweru. When I got to Gweru, oh, my doctor, he started shouting at me.
Hey! Don't angry me.
I told you to stay put. I told you not to leave this town. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to admit you until you give birth on the 18th. You guys, it was the 24th of June. I cried. Like, I feel like Fred Lee was just a crybaby because I would cry at, like anything, like even the smallest things. Anyway, so yeah, I was admitted, and then they started taking blood, and then they put me on the drip and stuff. So there, on that day, the 24th, I was just chilled. Everything was okay because I had stopped bleeding, and they said my blood was fine. Like I had enough blood, and they just had to detain me because I was one of those naughty people that didn't stay put. Okay, so 24th, and then I had this really nice lady that slept next to me. She would always be telling me stories. My husband is in UK. Hey, this is our second pregnancy. The first pregnancy, I got a miscarriage. Oh, sorry. And then like yeah, the the person that was next to me. So yeah, she got induced, and because she had gotten induced, she started making noises like, "Oh my gosh, I'm in pain," and then like it woke me up. I think it was around 3 a.m. thereabout, and then okay, yeah, my dad had brought me Nando's, and Nando's is like my favorite food. Like everybody knows, my favorite takeaway is Nando's. So yeah, I was having Nando's and I was just eating my Nando's, and then I decided, oh yeah, now let me go to the toilet. I went to the toilet, you guys, and the moment I stood up, a really big blood clot, like bigger than the last one, fell out. And then I removed the blanket that was covering me, and then I realized that there was blood all over the bed, and I started screaming. And then this lady, woo, she said her pain went away the moment she saw blood. Started running into the corridor, and she started calling out the nurse, and she went like, "Boya!" You know how we call nurses an ambuya all the time. So yeah, that's what happened. She started running, calling them buyas, and then the next thing they were putting me on the bed. The next thing they were shaving me. They were shaving my stomach. They were just preparing me for theater, you guys. And I didn't even know what was going on. I was just wondering, why are these people violating me? Why are they touching me? Why are they removing my clothes? You know? And then the next thing I heard them calling my doctor. My doctor wasn't in town. And then they started calling the other doctor. And then my doctor spoke to me, and he said, "You are going to get operated on today because we can't wait for the 18th. If you keep bleeding, it's bad for the baby, and it's also bad for you. Mostly you." And you know, I just got really, really scared. And I tried calling every single person I knew. I tried calling Bradley's dad. He didn't pick up at all. I tried calling my mom, she didn't pick up. I tried calling my aunt, the one I came with from Zishavane, she didn't pick up. Like, no one picked up, you guys. And they ended up giving me these forms to complete, and the forms were actually forms to say that they were like um, consent forms for operation. If anything happens to me, I have agreed that they should operate on me. And I was 18, I didn't even know what I was signing for. But then I got in the theater, and guys, the funniest thing happened. When I got in and I was naked, I was really naked. That's what they do when they're taking you to the theater. I felt so cold because it was June, and because I was shivering, I was scared. Remember the story I told you about people getting into theater and not coming out? That's what I was scared of. And so I started shivering. And then the doctor was like, why is she shivering? Make sure you warm her up. And then they put blankets on me and tried to like warm me up. But then like it was here. It was really here, guys. Okay, got into the theater. And then the moment that the doctor came near me and he started explaining things, and then he was like, it's a very simple procedure. We're going to do a C-section on you. And he started explaining, you guys, I was already crying. And then he was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I'm cold. I wasn't cold. I wasn't cold. And then the next thing, they actually strapped me onto the bed. Like, they actually put stuff to hold me down to the bed. I asked why, and then they said during the procedure, one person might just wake up from the anesthetic. Yes. So yeah. Yes, we just do this for precaution. We're just taking precaution. And then so I asked a lot of questions, you guys. I was really, really inquisitive because I didn't want to die in theater. Like, that's not, no, I didn't want to. So I was asking a lot of questions, and then they asked me to breathe in and breathe out. Then I did. And then they said, we want you to count from 10 to 1. And then the next thing, they removed the blankets, and then they started scrubbing my stomach. And when they started scrubbing my stomach, it was fine because I could feel the scrub and everything. But then, like later on, while I was counting, I think I was at 6, and then I felt like a little bit of cold stuff. Like I felt like it was metal on my stomach, and I screamed, "No! I'm not yet down!" Like, yes, I literally did that, you guys. It's so embarrassing now that I talk about it. But then that moment, I was really, really scared. Anyway, the operation went well. And I woke up. When I woke up, I was really, really dizzy.
Why do I feel dizzy?
It's the medicine.
Dizzy.
And drowsy, but I just wanted to see my baby. And when I woke up, I was crying. I was crying, and the nurses were trying to just calm me down, but then I didn't calm down. I remember I said to the nurse who was next to me, I said, please hold my hand. And then she held my hand because no one in my family knew I had had a baby because they thought I was just in hospital. They were just managing the situation. And then she held my hand, and I said, please show me my baby. And then she was like, your baby, unfortunately, you don't have your baby clothes here. So we wrapped your baby in blankets and we put your baby in the nursery. And it's really, really cold. Your baby is in an incubator because he's tiny. And I was like, no, I want to see my baby. And then she kept explaining to me, but I couldn't even understand anything. The next thing, I was looking at her, I was holding her hand, and I was asking her, give me my baby. There is something wrong with my baby. That is why you're not showing me my baby. And I was really, really hysterical. And the doctor came and said, inject her. Then they injected me, but I was crying, and I was crying. And the next thing, the doctor was like, just give her the baby. Just come with the baby in the little box. They did. They came with the baby in a trolley, in a little box. And then I just held my baby. I just, like, you guys, I was like, and then I slept. But it was such an amazing feeling, you guys, seeing my baby for the first time with his black hair and his very light skin and his tiny little everything except for the head. The head was really, really big. Yes, the head was really, really big. And then, okay, that is how I gave birth to Bradley. That's my birth story. So yeah, first thing I want to just throw in some lessons for you guys. First lesson is, guys, take seriously what the doctor says. I wasn't taking seriously what the doctor was saying to me, that this condition was really, really serious. And if God had not intervened, you guys, you would be, I would be history, like right now. So please, please, when the doctor talks to you and tells you that this is the condition that you're going through, that's the condition that you have, take the doctor seriously. These guys know what they're talking about. And the doctor actually warned me that if I wasn't careful, I would start bleeding and this and that and that. And secondly, I urge you guys to be informed, well informed about what's going on when you're pregnant. Just take time to research about pregnancy. And if the doctor tells you something, take time to research about it, and so that you are well informed. And if when things start happening, you know exactly what to expect and exactly what to do. And I believe that being young was not an excuse, because I made a lot of mistakes, as you can tell. But thank God that I gave birth to the baby. I'm fine, and the baby is fine, and he's not a baby anymore. He's 14. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this birth story. If you've learned something, or if you've got something to add to the placenta previa um, uh, condition, please do so. Comment, feel free to comment, feel free to knock yourselves out, and just, guys, like the video, like the video, like the video. Bye. Of the uterus and disease. I was putting jam on the bed, on the bread, you guys. I was putting on like a white pajama set, and then I was putting bread on the, like, jam, like red sun jam.